Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. My email is tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a model that originally bowed in 2004 and bowed out in 2018. A lot of folks miss this Breguet La Marine 5817, and I am one of them. A lovely 39mm red gold integrated bracelet sports watch. It seems like exactly what the market demands today. So 39 is the diameter, 12 is the thickness. Two ways to measure it across the wrist. If it's just the case, just the lugs, then it's 50mm. But if we measure this first outer link from side to side and define that as the horizontal distance across the wrist, it is a much beefier and broader 55mm. So don't go by the 39mm size of this watch. It wears more like a 43 on the wrist because of the way the bracelet is built. That said, you can see that the lugs in the bracelet are canted downward, so as broad as they are, they slope around the wrist rather than flaring outward awkwardly. It's also a thin watch, easily sliding underneath the cuff. If this were sized down, it would wear just fine on my wrist, and in fact, I think with the bracelet size, you could wear this on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference, and if you were to put it on a strap, you could wear it on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. There's your over the top, there's your cuff shot, and one more time down the barrel just to emphasize that this actually does fit my wrist just fine. It is heavy though. With all this gold on a watch most commonly seen on a strap, it's got a different aesthetic to it and also an incredible amount of weight. The bracelet is held on using screws and bars, which is a huge reassurance, as I would not trust spring bars with such a massive timepiece that's simultaneously also quite valuable. The finishing of the links is elaborate. You can see that the center links feature a little bit of a pent roof profile, and then the links flanking, the primaries, have polished shoulders and satin tops. There's a couple of different planes. As you can see, those pent roof profiles rise above the shoulder links. We have several removable links fixed by screws, including an intermediate-sized link on each side of the bracelet. So if you're in between sizes, you can get a fine-tuned fit by adding or removing these intermediate-sized links. And again, it is done by screws, which is how you like to see it done on an expensive watch. No room for pin sleeves here. We have a double folding clasp with twin trigger release, so it can't pop open. If you press just one, you have to press both. And then you can see the use of ceramic spring-loaded pin snaps to maintain a snappy, tight tolerance just like that. Taking a look at the clasp itself, it's a massive amount of gold and really quite heavy. But one of the advantages of that is that because you have this large, heavy clasp on the bottom, you've got a counterweight to the watch head. So if you like to wear your watch loose, this type is less likely to move around and want a hula hoop than if you were to put it on a strap and wear it loose. This actually holds it pretty fast, even if it's not tightly strapped. The lugs are welded on. You could see that. This is traditional case construction. Slow going, but worth the while. As the case and the lugs are built separately, the lugs are inserted into slots, welded on using heat, and then the evidence of the weld is removed to create this sharp break between the case and the lug. It's a very artisanal process that you don't see on massively mass-produced watches. The case is cold rolled and then hand finished in a jig to get this coined profile. We have a surprising amount of fluting and gadroon profiling. The individual, let's call them domed profiles, actually feature a small vertical lip or a canted lip and then a domed profile on each of these. So it's not just a double dome, there's actually some fluting on each of the domes. We've got a little wave motif acting as crown guards for the crown. It is a screw down crown. The watch is 100 meters water resistant. You can see the wave motif again on the dial and then again on the reverse of the watch, both on the edge of the case and the rotor. The dial is made of solid gold and cut on a rose lathe. This is real hand guilloche. It's a combination of a hand-cut 18-karat gold dial center that's been covered with black rhodium to give it this darkened look. It's been enlivened with a silver and dropped hour track that uses a satin finish with rose gold radially rayed Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4. We have modified Breguet hands in rose gold with a subtle fluting for better contrast, and we will do a lume shot so you can see that this is a sports watch, natural born. The hands themselves are actually a different color than the little indices, so you can tell them apart relatively quickly and easily. You've got a double-digit date with lovely Art Nouveau style numerals. You can see, though, the watch does not have a hacking seconds function. it does have a quick set date. So you can rapidly cycle the date, and it's a lot of fun to play with the quick set on a double-digit date. 100 meters water resistant. This is a real aquatic sports watch in red gold. It's got a hell of a presence. Pop open this clasp here and take a look at the movement you get inside. This is the Breguet caliber 517 GG. It's based on the Frederic Piguet 1150, but it's got a higher beat rate that's better suited to a sports watch, so 4 Hertz instead of the original movement's 3 Hertz. As a result, the twin barrel movement, which is automatic winding, has a 65-hour power reserve. It's adjusted in 5 positions, which is the high horology and chronometer standard, so something I like to see. Pivots on 35 jewels. It has nicely decorated bridges with Côte de Genève. You can see their edges have been handsomely beveled. We also have beveled jewel and screw sinks, black polished screw heads. There's solarization. We look careful. You can see there's solarization on the ratchet wheels atop the barrel. And then we have guilloche, another hand rose lathe job on the rotor itself to create this lovely wave motif that looks like it also might be inspired by a Nautilus shell. I know that's the wrong brand, but the Nautilus shell is awfully beautiful no matter the application. So this is somewhere between a seashell and a wave. And you can see that wave pattern on the outer circumference of the caseback, a recurring theme. Breguet was the watchmaker to the French Navy in historic times during the lifetime of Breguet and his sons. That's what this Breguet La Marine means up at the top. A really cool watch, gold inside and out with a rose lathe dial and 100 meters of water resistance. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.